Hello everyone, welcome back. We are back to cutting wood. Got a good sharp chainsaw, and we've got one more ash tree here to cut down. And the biggest reason I'm going to cut this one is it's shading part of the field here, and I've got something I'm going to put in there and I don't want it shaded. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about cutting a tree down. Any farmer, small farmer, large farmer, homeowner, landowner, more than likely is going to run into the situation at some point where they'll need to cut a tree down. Now, I used to do this for a living. I may not be an expert on it by any stretch of the imagination, but I've done a lot of it. I have came really close to getting killed doing this particular task. So before you start, before you ever cut a tree down, and this is a small tree, it's not a very big tree, but if you get into cutting trees like that, those 100-foot tall tulip poplars, you can get hurt. This is a really good way to get really bad hurt or killed in just a breath. But I would highly recommend you wear protective equipment, which includes chainsaw chaps and a helmet, a hard hat. By the way, I have neither on, but when I done it for a living, I wore them regularly. But first thing you want to do when you're cutting a tree is see which way it leans. And you can see on this one that it has a hard lean to the right. So the tree's going to fall right out in the field here, which is fine. That's no big deal. If you're questioning, if you'll start at the bottom of the tree comes out of the ground, and go in a straight line up, and whichever way the top is the way that tree is going to want to go to fall. Now, they are more technical ways of following them to get them to fall a different direction. You can always pull them. You can always do other things as well. Now, next thing you want to look for is dead limbs or things hanging in the tree that will fall out when the tree starts to fall. Because if them trees fall, if there's something up there that's going to fall out, it may hit you in the head. And let me tell you from experience, that's no fun. I actually had a logging helmet busted off my head one day from a tree limb, and it wasn't a really big tree limb, but it still busted a hard hat. So so that's the next thing. Now, when we get ready to cut it, the third thing, first thing is which way is the tree going to fall. Second thing is there anything hung up in the top of the tree that's going to fall out? And the third thing is, when the tree starts to fall, where are you going to go? You do not want to stand right there. If that tree splits or comes apart or something falls out of it, etc., 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 you're right in the danger zone. So you need basically an escape path, and mine's going to be right through there, out that way. Now, I'm hoping the tree will fall up the hill. That's the plan, but you never really know. So that's kind of what you need to do when you approach it. The next thing is, how am I going to cut it? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here, the direction the tree's going to fall, which is straight toward me in this view, and I'm going to cut a notch. What I'll do is I will cut in right here, and then I will notch down into it, and then I'm going to take the tip of the bar and I'm going to make a plunge cut, and I'm going to cut the heart of the tree, the center of the tree, out. Okay, and I'll explain to you why I'm going to do that in just a minute. And then I'm going to go around and make my back cut, and the tree should fall. The notch is to guide it down. The plunge cut is to keep it from splitting. I want to cut as much of that tree off and keep it standing as I possibly can, so when I start the back cut, there's no wood in here left trying to hold the tree up, or not enough to cause the tree to split out. And you can get into more technical parts of it. You know, bigger tree, you may do a different bore cut, but on this particular one, that's what we're going to do. This tree leans hard, so it's going to fall quick. It'll break more wood because there's more weight in the top pulling it down. So we want to be sure to get that cut out. Now I'm going to cut the tree off about here. Stay out of these rocks. I don't want to hit the rocks with the chainsaw. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So let's get started at it. Now we're going to try to land the tree see these two rocks right here? That's where we're aiming. We'll see how good we done. Okay, see the two rocks? That's what we're aiming for. Okay, tree's down. And you see it landed pretty much where I wanted it to. We actually, I think, hit the rocks and then it rolled, which happens. But let me show you what I was talking about. Okay. You see what's going on here, and let me explain to you the thought process behind this. And I don't know if you can see this or not. All right, so here's the stump, and here's where my notch was. You can see I cut in here. Not pleased with this. Here we go. So here's the notch, okay? I cut the notch, and then here's the bore cut. Went in and cut the heart out. Now, ideally, when I start cutting back here, I cut this even. If you want the tree to go one way or the other, you cut more here and leave more here, and this amount of wood will help pull the tree that way, or vice versa. This one had such a lean to it, didn't really matter. But cut your notch, bore cut, and then back cut. And that's the way I done it when I was cutting timber, and it always worked for me. You can see there's where a notch was, and that helps guide it down. So hopefully you learned something out of that. That's how I cut a tree down. And let's see how close we come to our, you can see the tree landed right here. You can see in the ground. And right there is our rocks. So we hit pretty much where we wanted, and then the tree of course rolled off. So that's today's video. You also can tell the saw is pretty sharp now, which is a good thing. So that's today's video. We're going to get this worked up, Get some more wood in. This should be getting close to being done with the firewood. And until next time, like us, subscribe to us, comment, check out our Facebook page. We'll talk to you guys later.